Charlie.
5 months, 13 episodes, that's 26 beers, plus tip.
Gee, Charlie, I don't have a pint.
Sorry.
Didn't ask for a pint. 26 beers.
Well, it's funny. See, my mom had to leave early to take my brother to school and my dad to work because...
26 beers. Boulevard.
See, the problem is that my little brother this morning got his arm caught in the microwave and my grandmother dropped acid and she freaked out and hijacked a school bus full of penguins. So it's kind of a family crisis. So come back later? Great. 2026. We have quite the year planned for you. It is sponge-worthy.
Do you think you're sponge-worthy?
Newman!
Hello, Newman. Hello, Newman. Hello, Newman. Hello, Newman.
Who is buzzing at our door to be featured on this show?
Well, on our first show of 2026, we're going to go back to 1985 to hit the slopes with John Cusack and his cult classic, Better Off Dead. Next, we'll head up to the Big Apple to hang out with Jerry, Elaine, Kramer, and even George as we do our deep dive into Seinfeld. Plus, we'll also feature 2 more exquisite beers on this show that you need to find immediately. Then we'll also add 5 new and better songs to our ever-growing mixtape playlist. Check it out on Spotify if you want to sample our playlist from our first 14 shows and rock right along with us. And if you love what you see on the show, be the master of your domain and yada, 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 your like and subscribe button so you don't miss any new shows in 2026. But without further ado, let's get our soup orders in and let's get our puffy shirts on and let's get ready to hit the slopes. It's showtime.
Surprise! Let's party!
Where's your ice box?
That almost looked as crazy as our New Year's Eve party.
Those never get old. I mean, yeah.
You got any court orders from the last show?
No, we've cleaned up the venues. We lost our deposit. I don't know which venue it was. Pretty sure not mine.
Yeah, I heard there was some interesting things going on over in Shannon's room. You know, a lot of girls in good moods, but man, yeah, it got a little crazy over on our side. So I'm glad, at least so far, no repercussions have come from that show. But
I almost want to like a person counter. You know, like how many people flow into this one, how many people flow into that one at certain times, because I think people flowed out of mine and they were getting busy on Shannon's on the dance floor.
So.
And then they were like, and people were like, no, I need some craziness. I need some like anarchy. And then they jumped into yours and they just never came out.
All the ones that weren't getting action had to go out, take their angst out. So that's why we got the mosh pits cranked up for them. So, we're out there to make sure everybody's happy on New Year's Eve.
We certainly know the local police department now.
We do for protect and serve. That's what they told us.
Yeah, and I'm sure you got this question too. Will you be doing this next year? And my answer was yes, we will. We will be doing this next year because it was a blast. So check it out. Check the show out. It was amazing. We even did a premiere version of the first premiere version of our podcast. And thank you all for jumping on. For those who asked questions and wanted to know more about the edits. And yeah, it was a fun time to the point where you have to just check it out anyway. It's not a New Year's Eve for the most part. It's got great music. We play long extended versions. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, great show. And yeah, always good to listen to on the surround sound. Just crank it up, especially when you get to the mixtape segment. Definitely a lot of great stuff. And tonight we'll be throwing in for the new year. We'll have songs with the new or better theme. So definitely stick around for the end of the show as we climb through some of those artists.
Yeah, and I would say that if you are a solid fan of the show, maybe you notice a slight uptick to some of the volumes when we got into Charlie's venue. I had to get my hearing checked after Mighty Mouth.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Thank-
Steve Whiteman from Kicks does that to a lot of people. So
Yep, thank you, Kix. But what I wanted, I don't know if this happened or not, but I mentioned how some couples just clash on this beautiful night, and I don't know if like I said, Shannon said it could be the alcohol talking. So if there was any couples that broke up during our show, we're sorry, but it's no reason to have suicidal tendencies or things like that, because that's exactly what Lane Meyer has in Better Off Dead.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, he definitely takes to those who I would assume have seen the movie. If you remember the very beginning, all the pictures of his girlfriend Beth, like on every hanger, and posters, different poses, things like that. He was definitely had all his eggs in one basket, so to speak, with Beth. That's for sure.
Amanda Weiss, right? She was pretty hot back then, and she's done quite well in growing up and looks pretty good even today. So we understand Lane, but at the same time, maybe she was out of your league, bro. All right, so let's talk about Better Off Dead.
Better Off Dead, one of my favorite John Cusack movies of all time. That's for sure. Well, if we're talking about the 80s genre of John Cusack movies, he was pretty much the living legend of sort of the sensitive guy, very well spoken type. And, if you think of really, I always think of the four John Cusack movies. The Sure Thing was the first in the series, Better Off Dead, One Crazy Summer.
Yeah.
And then Say Anything was sort of the crowning achievement in '89.
Yeah,
so that,
yeah. He was a lead. Yeah, I know he was a leading person on all those, but Say Anything, he reached an ultimate level. And his introduction, if you will, was 16 Candles as an absolute geek.
As a dork. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But some of the interesting things, and again, what we always love about the deep dive is all the new stuff we learn about these movies. And I remember seeing the name Savage Steve Holland, on these John Cusack movies, or at least One Crazy Summer and Better Off Dead. And come to find out, this was Savage Steve's first foray into writing a movie. And he did really an autobiographical look. There was a few components of the movie story itself where like the suicidal tendencies that he had were his own. He had actually had a girlfriend who broke up with him and left him for the captain of the ski team, just like the same thing that Beth did with Roy Stalin. So we had that aspect of it, and even down to the $2 kid on the bike. He had the same kind of thing. There was a kid in the neighborhood that used to chase people around trying to collect his paper route money. So I always say, art is a very a beautiful thing when you can take, your personal experiences and translate them into the silver screen, like you did a great job doing here.
First of all, Savage is really his first name. I don't know, but pretty damn cool. The way that Savage Holland was approaching this was very much like how, I think Fast Times at Richmond High and Adventures in Babysitting. There was a couple of that we've featured on the show, on the podcast already, that this was their first introduction into directing. And obviously they nailed it. They just understood what was going on. And I know people that are watching right now, I don't know, Better Off Dead. I've seen it, but it wasn't really top of. We're going to try to change your minds tonight or today or whenever you're watching this. So stick with us and we'll see what we can do to get you locked in on this. And isn't it weird, Charlie? Sometimes they call it a cult classic. What do you think that means? Well, right off the bat, 1985, 7.1 on IMDb. That's not bad. 75% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's okay. It's budgeted for $3.5 million, but it only made $10.3 million. It was probably, I mean, when you watch the movie, super low budget. And it didn't need to be crazy. I mean, they shot it mostly in LA area, and obviously they went to I think Utah maybe to film the skiing parts.
Yep.
But in the end, they're introducing a bunch of new stars. Obviously, John Cusack, like you said, is sort of new. He's getting into, well, would you call him a leading man? He eventually became one. He eventually, did amazing stuff with Grosse Point Blank and other movies beyond this. But at the time, even my wife, Amber, she's like, I really don't see him as being a handsome leading man. But like I mentioned, what was it? A couple of shows back, he looked like my brother with his little part in the middle and his feather, his little feather hair back. But
definitely
anyway.
80s haircut, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Although I had an 80s haircut for 33 years, but anyway. But to go back to what you were saying about cult classics, so I think like the classic definition of a cult classic is one I think that really flops at the box office, but then really gets its traction, I think, on the back end of things. I mean, I think the ultimate cult classic's probably the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, agreed. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, it didn't do crap in the movies, but it's still a phenomenon, however, 50 years later, I think, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think and this really, again, and you think about it, 1985, that's sort of VHS is getting launched, so a lot better chance to get cult classics once we got into the 80s and people were like running out of shit to watch. And that's how I ended up on this. I'm like, oh, The Sure Thing, that sounds cool. And then Better Off Dead, that went right on through the series, and I'm like, yeah, this guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, well, and just to confirm how he sort of settled on this one, it still has a connection with Christmas. It has a connection with winter, which obviously we're in right now with January. So we picked this one just because, again, we're just fans of it. It has a lot of neat things about it, which we're going to get into. And we mentioned cult classics as a sort of, it's done in a certain way. This one doesn't talk about how it's aesthetically connected and culturally, beautiful in regards to what was going on in the 80s, but it actually kind of does. It's got tons of diversity. It's got some people that went on to great careers, the people who, again, we'll get into that as well, who have shifted their abilities and still doing amazing stuff today. It's got Curtis Armstrong, who everybody should know from Revenge of the Nerds.
Booker.
Frankly, I'm not too wild about this next event, but it has become a tradition here at Adams. The belching contest. Our first of two finalists, Frederick W. Polowatsky. Ogre, you asshole. Ogre. And from the Lambda Mu team, Dudley Dawson.
Booger.
Booger.
Yes. So it's got some things, but one of the things that this movie has that I don't think any other episode that we've done, Charlie, has. This is a teen black comedy. Now, I immediately went, teen black comedy? I get the teen part, the black comedy. Let me refresh my mind. What exactly does that mean? So looking up, it means macabre or morbid or dark humor. And again, Charlie will probably get into this, but the basic structure of this movie is a guy gets dumped by his out of his league girlfriend, and feels like we all did when we were in our teens in high school, going, "God, I just feel so awful. I want to die." We never
End
really
of the
wanted to
world.
die. Hopefully, nobody ever feels like they want to die, because you shouldn't feel like that. So this is our disclaimer: don't commit suicide. It's not that big
Right.
of a deal. You'll find someone else and move on. So please don't take your life. It talks about this in a neat way, is in regards to trying to and failing, and ultimately figuring out at the end of the movie, hey, this is not so bad, and I found another thing that makes me happy in life.
And he did need to build his confidence. I mean, thinking about the middle of the movie when Monique finally starts speaking English and realizing, hey, I like this guy a lot better than the guy snorting nasal spray all day. So, and I think she kind of knew that already. But yeah, I think it really, and again, it sort of captures sort of that, the high school culture of, the elites, the Stalins of the world, the
Yes.
jocks that they're too good for anybody, and they're usually, blonde hair, blue eyed, well, anyway, but yeah, but usually of that nature, and look down on everybody else, and then the hardworking, smarter people eventually inherit the earth. At least that's what I was.
All right, so let's get, before we get into because we're going to mention a lot of people here. Let's mention the cast, right? So again, John Cusack, Elaine Meyer. He rolled out with 16 Candles, like we mentioned, in '84. Stand By Me in '86. Not that big of a role though in Stand By Me,
Mhm.
which, by the way, Rob Reiner, who has, well, he was killed. He didn't pass away. He was killed by his
Right.
idiot son. Then the Sure Thing, like you mentioned, Charlie, in '85. So very, very busy John Cusack in those particular 3 years. Aaron Dozier, as you mentioned, Roy Stalin, horrible last name.
Mhm.
He was the bad guys, the bad good-looking guys, right? He only pulled off Hail to the Chief after this, and then there he is right there, and then stopped. He actually stopped acting after that. Like, insane. That's pretty crazy. And I don't think we've ever ran into that much of an abrupt change. Anyway, Amanda Weiss, which you see also, she's done onto amazing stuff, and she's been doing great. But then Curtis Armstrong, as we mentioned, Charles DeMar, Revenge of the Nerds in '84, Bad Medicine '85, One Crazy Summer, who, by the way, teamed up with John Cusack again in
Yes,
'86.
indeed.
Yeah. Dan Snyder, who was Lane's neighbor, who was the recipient of the exchange student of Diane Franklin, or Monique.
Yeah.
He was Ricky Smith. You, if you're from the '80s, you know this. Making the Grade in '84, Hot Resort, which I don't remember, in '85, but he came from Head of the Class, which was a
Yeah. Yep.
huge,
Yep.
huge, massive hit from '86 to '91.
Howard Hessman.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. Which WKRP?
That's right.
Yeah.
Johnny Fever.
Johnny Fever.
All right, Cincinnati, it is time for this town to get down. You got Johnny, Dr. Johnny Fever, and I am burning up in here.
But Dan Snyder has gone on to he went on to some amazing things with Nickelodeon, iCarly, Henry Danger, so on and so forth. So he's done quite well. He had some issues going on there, but anyway, we'll move on. Diane Franklin, who becomes Lane's love interest, if you will, and there she is. She was a model, super cute. She was Monique Junot,
She was.
and not a lot of stuff, but she's kept quite busy with. Well, and I want to throw this at you, Charlie, because you're going to love this. So, Second Time Lucky, almost like a little bit of a, not I say skin flicks, but horror skin flicks. Nothing
Okay.
risque. TerraVision, you get my gist here. But you might remember, audience, she was Princess Joanne in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
That's right. That's right. She was.
All right.
That's-
And what is this message you speak of?
Did she speak French in that?
No, but
Iron Maiden? Excellent!
there you go. Have you ran into a movie, Charlie, that or audience members, have you ran into a movie where somebody steals a scene and they have a line that just launches way beyond the movie and becomes, well, like we said before, a cult classic? Damian Slade as Johnny, the newspaper boy, with his "I want my $2."
Oh yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
so
he-
he went on to do Radioactive Dreams, Back to the Beach, and he's done Wonder Years, but that's about it.
He was typecast with the switchblade comb, so that's it's hard to fight back from that. But yeah, he was definitely the signature in the movie, and you always wondered how could I get a bike down a ski slope? Well, just that single ski. It seemed to work out for him.
Yeah, and if you go online now and you look up ski bike, they have bikes that have tracks
There it
and
is.
stuff, and it's pretty crazy. All
That's
right, and
brutal.
then Yuki Okamoto. There he is. Well, he's the guy in the back, but yeah, you might remember him because the next year he went on to be the bad guy in Karate Kid 2 when they were in Japan. He was chosen, and obviously he's moved on to things like Cobra Kai. And again, I love that series. I loved him. He became such a nice guy and a huge help to Daniel, Ralph Macchio in
Yeah.
that series. But did you know that he was in Real Genius with Val Kilmer?
Didn't remember that.
We will because I definitely want to feature that movie. All right. Oh, and by the way, Amanda Weiss was also in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
And
don't remember.
Cheers.
Cheers, and also Nightmare on Elm. She was the first victim of Freddy, right? Freddy on Nightmare on Elm Street.
She deserved it.
She did. You bitch. How dare you just dump Lane?
That's right. Lane's a good guy. I mean, he's got a wood grain station wagon just like everybody else of the era, but eventually he got his Camaro running.
Just like in Adventures of Babysitting.
And a nice handy ski rack there on top of that nice Camaro. Gosh, I don't know if I restored that thing. I don't know if I'd be putting a ski rack on top
I
of it.
agree with you.
And ultimately, who the hell is going to drive a rear-wheel drive Camaro through snowy roads and shit like that? I mean, that's
Mike from Adventures in Babysitting, Too Cool would have done it, but the Camaros are different. Charlie and I just looked this up. They're not the same year. Obviously, they're quite off by a couple of decades, but they both drove Camaros. And he's playing the saxophone, by the way, which is the third most, at least in my opinion, most played instrument of all 80s songs.
Did you play an instrument growing up?
Oh God, Lord. The clarinet,
So did I.
The clarinet in school officially, but then at home I messed around with the keyboard.
Okay. Yeah, I was a fourth, fifth, and sixth grade clarinet player at my little tiny ass private school that I went to, and a constant battle for that #1 chair. I'm telling you, my parents are like, "We're paying good money renting you this clarinet every month, so you better get better at that and get in that #1 chair." But very competitive.
All right, well, cue Ferris Bueller right now on the clarinet.
Never had one lesson.
That's right.
Yeah, we weren't as cool as Billy Booth playing the guitar.
No, I mean, well, Billy played in our little garage band. I think, like Atlee used to beat along on the bass, and it was sort of a slipshod band that we had, but we did our best.
All right. Hey, I want to go back to, because you don't have it in your. Make sure you throw some more banners out there soon, but I want to throw this out there because Savage Steve Holland, he was into, a very multi-talented dude, and he was also into animation. He did the exactly. He did the animation for the whammy from Press Your Luck.
Oh, really? Well, that's looks pretty close to what we're looking at there, ironically.
So Charlie, if you don't mind, I think it's time that we press our luck. Ready? All right, I'm gonna do it, and then you're gonna do it. Ready?
All right.
All right. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies,
Big
no
bucks,
whammies,
no whammies, stop!
Stop it all.
All right, your turn.
My turn. All right. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Stop!
Man, you got nailed just like I did. But yeah, this animation was amazing. Again, from an artist standpoint, I loved this part and the burgers when they sang. Well, when they sang this scene right here with Van Halen.
Everybody wants some. I'll show you what everybody wants. All of you, mad! Me a fool!
Now, if does this, who does this remind you of? Episode 1, maybe? Judge Reinhold? I think so. It reminds me of just the crappy jobs that we had to take on to enter into the adult world of earning a paycheck. And here he is, John Cusack, dealing with being part of, what was it called?
I think that was Burger World.
Pig burgers. Pig burgers.
Oh shit! How can I have with the pig nose? And yeah, he was the guy from Porky's was yelling at him because he was making him too thick, I think, or something of that nature. But
exactly.
But later on in the movie, though, he still had the key, if you remember, and then him and Monique had dinner inside of the pig burger restaurant. So I thought he got fired that time, but apparently he got a little B&E charge there at the end because I'm sure Porky wouldn't have been happy he was using his restaurant for stuff like that.
Yeah, let's go over some key things. So this was supposed to be in Northern California. We call it NorCal, on a mountain called the K12 in Glendale. So all that stuff is just odd when you actually look into where exactly would they have been.
Right.
There is an interesting podcast, if you will, that goes back and shows all of the film locations, which is, again, it's a funny show to see. And if you're into that, that's cool. But the guy gets dumped before Christmas. Has anybody in the audience been dumped before Christmas or New Year's or Valentine's Day or what have you. I have been guilty of that.
It's always a cost-saving maneuver. I've always looked at it.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is, Charlie. All right. How about this? Who the hell has a high school ski team?
I'm curious of that. I mean, obviously, like in Maryland, we don't have stuff like that, but I mean, like some schools have hockey teams, so maybe maybe out in Western Maryland or Colorado.
Mr. Ski Instructor, I need a lot of training fast. I'm gonna race down the K13.
All right, well, if you gotta get good at something really fast, there's only one way to do it. The day is approaching to give it your best, and you've got to reach your prime. That's when you need to put yourself to the test and show us a passage of time. We're gonna need a montage. A sports training montage.
For that matter, I bet they probably have stuff like that.
All right. Again, in Chicago, I apologize. You probably have one.
There's always something in Shermer, Illinois. We know that.
Exactly. All right. So 1967 Camaro, which is cool because Diane Franklin or Monique just happens to be an auto mechanic and a skier. Yeah, and his mom concocts the strangest, creepy family meal. Again, the teen black comedy when it comes to those things. It was just an oddball. I don't recall a movie like this. Do you?
I don't think so. So.
So he has a genius little brother, right? Remember, builds. He has no lines. This kid reminds me of the redhead in Adventures in Babysitting, who has tons of lines, by the way. But there he is. He builds layers. He attracts trashy women using a how to pick up trashy women book. But just that's the fact that he had no lines. I mean, he could have been red rum. Well,
if you remember when he got that book, God, I can't remember who the postman was, but he was another one that showed up in a lot of 80s movies, and he was acting all kind of creepy and slimy with him. He goes, what's a little boy like you looking at big guy slut or smut like this? Oh my God.
All right. So for those who are into arcade games, by the way, go check out episode 3, 4. Can't remember. We're getting so far into our history now, but yes, the arcade. To me, you remember Paperboy?
Oh yeah.
That was a crazy ass game. It was hard, but it was so fun.
Had handlebar controls, if you remember that.
Yes. Yeah, and it was so interesting because that would never make it today, right?
No, not really. Well, I still have that on my machine, and I still can't get through 3 rounds. It's just too much. Just very stressful.
It is very stressful. All right. How about this? What was stressful was pulling up against 2 Japanese drag racers, right?
Yes.
I think one of the great lines, and I used to have it up here, but
Truly a sight to behold. The man beat the once great champ, now a study in moppishness. No longer the victory-hungry stallion we've raced so many times before, but a pathetic, washed-up, aged ex-champion.
All right, let's go.
So we mentioned this, folks, and we want to make sure that you guys understand, don't commit suicide. Part of that disclaimer includes don't inhale Jell-O. don't inhale snow.
This is pure snow. It's everywhere. Have you any idea what the street value of this mountain is? Charles, wait a minute, hold it. I think I froze the left half of my brain. Look, I can't move my right arm.
But yeah, there's that underlying neurotic hallucinations, mental health. We've seen him in a couple of movies. He's almost the Ben Stein, right? The new sort of Ben Stein. How awkward they are in a classroom.
Mr. Vargas.
Mr. Vargas.
Yep, you gotta cut him a little slack. He just switched to Sanka.
That's it. That's right. Oh.
Well, man, I tell you, this has been it's been a journey through this movie, and I tell you what, it sure is making me thirsty, almost like pretzels do.
These pretzels are making me thirsty.
Making me thirsty.
I want a beer.
Beer.
Wait, we should get some road beers, huh?
Dude. Hell yeah, we should get some road beers.
No alcohol? This place sucks.
I can't take this much longer. I gotta have a beer. Brilliant.
So you mentioned exquisite, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty lofty, dude. You're putting me in, because you bring amazing beers to the show, folks. Go back and look at his stuff. If you have to go out of state to find Charlie's beers, do it.
Okay. Do it. Do it.
So I will challenge everyone. This is my beer that I'm going to feature. Is Tioga-Sequoia Brewing Company General Sherman IPA. I'm not a fan of that logo, by the way.
Nah.
They stole that crap from the Forest Service, but it's a 7.5% back in 95-ish, right? So there's a person named Ken Grossman. He belonged to the he created Sierra Nevada Brewing Company. You might have heard of it.
I've heard of him once or twice.
Yeah, he created a pale ale. He attempted it 12 times until he figured that he perfected it, which makes sense because there's a couple of beers that I've entered my 8th to the 10th iteration going, gosh, I still need to tweak it just a little bit. But he perfected one of the greatest piney IPAs that this world has ever seen. We're talking using the C's, the C hops. We've mentioned it in earlier shows, folks. IPAs, what are we talking about? IPAs now have just launched into a bunch of different categories, subcategories, what have you. One of the categories that I love is a traditional old school piney IPA. And this General Sherman IPA nails that. It's got Simcoe, Citra, and Mosaic. Gosh, it's so floral. It's insane. If you don't know, the General Sherman tree in Sequoia National Park is the largest living tree. Hopefully it doesn't burn down with all the damn wildfires in California.
Right.
On Earth, our General Sherman IPA was crafted to embody the beauty and grandeur of this great sequoia. Sherman is a true West Coast IPA, brewed with Simcoe, Mosaic, and Citra hops from start to finish. Our IPA, stands with its dry, that's crucial, floral, pretty crucial, and citrus, floral aroma. It's like its namesake. So there is no equal. Here's what it looks like, folks. Super clear, beautiful. There you go. That's my beer.
Yeah,
it is exquisite, like Charlie said.
It looks very refreshing, and that's what you want. We're very close this week in the ABV department. So what I went with, it's interesting. Again, we get some of the interesting distribution here in Las Vegas. You kind of get just random beers that kind of pop up, and there's one that I've always really enjoyed from Lexington Brewing Company. And it's interesting. I've never really, again, done the due diligence as far as really researching the beer, but the version of theirs right now that I'm drinking tonight, this is the Bourbon Barrel Cocoa Porter. So basically you're looking at a barrel-aged porter, bittersweet chocolate, vanilla, some sweet toffee in there. And, it certainly doesn't disappoint. But what's interesting, though, is this brewery, their claim to fame is that on like the the whiskey walk, or whatever you call where all the bourbons are and everything in Kentucky, they're the only one that has a brewery along with the distillery. So
Oh.
and like the versions that I tend to run into at like Total Wine, I've had the vanilla barrel cream ale, which is pretty fantastic. They have a tangerine barrel cream ale that's sort of the kind of the same sort of texture and feel to it. That Imperial Milk Stout on the right there is another one that's a home run at 12.0, so another heavy hitter in terms of that. But this one here is it's nice. I mean, it's not like an overly chocolate beer. It's not sweet. I mean, it is sort of a bittersweet taste to it, but not bittersweet on the lips and not bittersweet on the taste buds. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, I appreciate you breaking the mold and going outside of your Boulevard beer. This is
Only an 8.0.
Folks, I challenged Charlie to bring up a different brewery that he's never featured before. And he's like, oh, fine. This is going to be so difficult. Meanwhile, he has like 20 other options to bring up.
You know, it was tough though, because I have when we're talking about new stuff, but when sometimes old is new, Founders, their Canadian breakfast stout, the CBS, which is like a 13%er, which is like a maple imperial stout. You know, they've re-released it, so technically that's a new beer. But I said, let me accept my my challenge here, and I decided to go with the cocoa porter. But probably better for all involved, being it's like a 13%er. So probably get a better quality show out of us tonight with me not pounding one of those.
Yeah, we might have to poll our insanely large audience to figure out who is finding what beer where. Yeah,
there was something on 60 Minutes this past Sunday. We were just flipping by, and they were talking about the barrel industry. You know how there's so many places that's solely what they do. I mean, they have they acquire the barrels, they fill a warehouse with them, and they're shipping them all over the world. And it just gives such unique characteristics as whatever ages in there soaks into that wood. And I mean, there's all they say, even like in a typical large barrel, there's probably like a gallon that's soaked into the wood itself. I mean, that's just crazy to me. But yeah, it's
hold on a second. I have people who are watching the show and going, oh, you know what you need? This is the props department gave me so many gifts for Christmas, Charlie.
Yeah.
And so here it is.
Oh, there we go.
I'm sure that's spiking the hell out of them.
I can't swim.
All right, so there's that.
Yeah.
My little Will Ferrell cowbell. And then I got this really cool thing. Ready?
Oh my God.
Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man. Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man. Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man.
Hi, I'm Al Harrington, president and CEO of Al Harrington's Wacky Waving Inflatable Arm Flailing Tube Man Emporium and Warehouse. Thanks to a shipping error, I am now currently overstocked on Wacky Waving Inflatable Arm Flailing Tube Men, and I am passing the savings on to you! Attract customers to your business. Make a splash at your next presentation. Keep grandma company. Protect your crops. Confuse your neighbors. African American? Hail a cab. Testify in church, or just raise the roof. Whatever your wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man needs are. So come on down to Al Harrington's Wacky Waving Inflatable Arm Flailing Tube Man Emporium and Warehouse.
If I could just have this going all the time during the background, I would, but it does make a noise, as you probably can hear. Thank you, props department. I appreciate all the cool, neat things that you're giving me. I think we need to get into our next show
Let's do it.
segment here.
Master of the house, doling out the charm, ready with a handshake and an open palm.
Oh my gosh! Okay, well, all right. So here we go. Seinfeld.
Glad to do
All right, Seinfeld as Charlie adds stuff. All right, my July 1989 to May 1998, 180 episodes of just glorious amazing. Okay, come on, people. There is honest. I think so. How this happens, Charlie? There is I hate it, and I absolutely love it. I don't think there's any gray areas with Seinfeld, and I think the majority of people like us who grew up in that time frame absolutely love this because it mimicked what we were going through in our lives. There was things that just resonated with dating and dealing with friends and just the mundane everyday life. Yeah.
I think they kind of got into that, and as we did our deep dive into the episodes, I watched like the first 4 seasons, and it seemed like first couple episodes it was a little clunky. It's like they were trying to kind of find their voice a little bit, and I mean, if you think back on the pilot, the whole thing was the woman he had met at a convention, or no, it was at a stand-up show. She was coming to town and she wanted to stay with him. So then it becomes well, does she want to sleep with me, or what's the story here? And then she gets there and is talking to her husband, and so they were sort of like scratching the surface there, and it's almost like they got their feet under them after the first abbreviated season, and then they really started capturing a lot of those social awkward moments. I think once they really started getting their legs underneath of them, but Elaine wasn't even in that first episode. She was actually when they were developing the pilot, they weren't really sure if they wanted to have a female as a part of the show, and then they were sort of, I guess, directed to we want to balance this out a little bit. And if you think about it, there's so many comedies that have sort of the 3 guy, 1 girl type dynamic. I think back to, obviously I was talking about Sunny in Philadelphia, which came obviously later down the road, but it always kind of balances everything out. Everybody has their own awkwardness that they're dealing with, but Elaine sort of brought that stability, balance. I don't know if any of those are the right
Or
words.
at least she brought the female audience into it, and that kind of she had that outward ability to say, this is what's going on in a woman's life.
Yeah. So
because that was it, because Jerry and George, not so much Kramer, but Jerry and George constantly struggled with dating the entire series.
Well, also remember too, the premise was that Elaine and Jerry had dated before the show began, so it was sort of the the ex thing that, and it's funny, I remember when even when I had split up with my my ex, we still kind of hung around in a friend capacity for a couple years, and it was kind of a weird situation, kind of similar to that. You're still kind of have going out for a drink here or there and stuff like that, but no involvement or anything. And it was interesting as they sort of evolved through their seasons. The one episode they had sex to save the friendship.
Yes, exactly.
So
which is true, right? Because you run into that. You either cut it completely, but you go, you know what, we're better off as friends, so let's hang out as friends. But then does that actually hurt or harm you in your relationships? And sometimes, well, most of the time, it probably harms you and you should cut ties completely. But in this case, it helped them in their ability to understand each other's plight and what they were trying to achieve in regards to their dating lives.
I kind of think, looking back on it, that they were still, I think even the writers were trying to figure out exactly kind of how to carry that storyline.
Yeah.
I mean, because the easy layup is, they get back together, they break up or whatever, but it was nice to kind of have that ongoing sexual tension that they kind of had there through the first few seasons. So again, just writing mastery, I would have to say.
Okay, so speaking of writers, and I want to ask you this question after I finish this little blurb here, because it's been clearly identified that the writing for this show is some of the greatest writing ever. I guess you can almost bump it up against Friends, if you will, because Friends had that kind of connection with so many different people from so many different genres. They covered the multiple men, women, ages, so on and so forth. And Seinfeld kind of pulled that together as well. So I looked up. I was curious, who's writing for this? And obviously Larry David, Curb Your Enthusiasm, and so on and so forth. But I was like, okay, yeah, but the deeper ones, who just has this amazing ability to say, yes, this is something that either you've heard before, you've resonated before, you know exactly what we're trying to tell you. So the writers, and I'm not going to get into all their names, but it's amazing. They've written for Arsenio Hall. They've done stand up. They've done Euro Trip. They've done, by the way, the Clerks animated, SNL, The League. So yeah, just amazing group of people that just had a pulse of what was going on at the time with relationships, with story ideas, because they kept it coming. 180 episodes, and you're talking knocking on top-rated stuff. Almost every season, there was something that spiked into stardom.
Interesting, some of the character development over time. Like George actually seemed like a almost responsible guy at the beginning. If you remember, I think he was into real estate at the time, I think in the first couple episodes. And, he had his employment challenges throughout the show. I mean, he worked for, he was unemployed for a good while, but then he worked for the Yankees. If you remember, he was like the assistant to the general manager. He's the one who brought the cotton uniforms out, and obviously that didn't work out for them. He worked for Play Now, and then he faked being handicapped so he could get the better office and the private bathroom.
Well,
I
the
$2.
Oh, this
Yeah.
is beautiful. My favorite, obviously, character is George Costanza. I mean, he like you said, I think he evolved into somebody who brought so much to the show that created the show. Jerry was like the stable one, and he's like, hey, he's centralized. Obviously, people came to him in his apartment, but Jason Alexander, he's a phenomenal actor. I mean, Broadway, he just knew how to up his game, and he knew how to pause and create, and he's gone on to do things like Pretty Woman and Shallow Hal. So he was phenomenal. And I guarantee you, so many men were like, crap, that's me.
The ones, again, I can't believe I watched as many as I did for getting ready for this, but going back to the one where he goes out with the woman, they're in the car, and she invites him up for coffee, and he's like, no, I don't have to drink coffee this late. It keeps me up at night. And then she's like, oh, okay. So then it occurs to him like, oh my God, she didn't want coffee. She wanted sex. And that just ate him alive like the rest of that episode. And another one was, if you remember, when Elaine did the sexy voice on the tape during Jerry's stand-up show, and then Kramer and George were all listening to it like, man, this is pretty crazy. And then George was immediately attracted to her and was sweating every time he saw her. Oh my God.
Yeah. We're going to try to both share our top 5, maybe top 5 to 10. I mean, there's 180 episodes, folks. There's no way to hell that you can say, well, obviously there's people that said, hey, this is voted as being the top 5. But so yeah, feel free to chime in, throw us on the Instagram and Facebook pages what your favorite
top 3, if you can narrow it down.
Yeah, top 3, if you will. But yeah, I've deployed quite a few times in the military. You have a lot of downtime. There's like, okay, we got to wait for a plane, wait for a flight, wait for transportation, wait for whatever happens to be, and hey, we're gonna go, and then there's no, wait. You got to feel those moments because you can't really do anything, but you got to be ready. So you have all your stuff, and you go, what can we do to fill that time that we can shut it down super fast and go? Seinfeld, yes, download it all, because at certain times, we don't have streaming abilities, but we have the entire DVD sets. Yes, you have those DVDs, you toss it in. What's great, I loved about Seinfeld, and I still today, is I'm still struggling to finish the 180 episodes. And I'm sure I've like Charlie, I've done it before, but I'm doing it again and again and again because it never gets old. You throw it in and you can turn it on while your kid's getting ready to go to a soccer, baseball, what have you, practice, or you've got to go pick them up from school. You can turn it on for 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, what have you. Most episodes, 22-ish minutes. You can get the most enjoyment out of this damn show that's super fast and go, and then stop it, come back later, and you'll be fine. That's what's great about this show.
It definitely has stood up over the 30 years. And again, it's like a comfortable pair of shoes. I mean, you can always throw a Seinfeld on and you always remember some little thing about it. I mean, there's so many episodes like we were talking about before the show where I worked in a car dealership at the time, and me and a couple of the people in the parts department, we overquoted this show. I mean, I almost am embarrassed as I think back on it, but all the different quotes, whether it's no soup for you, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's everything that you can imagine. We threw at each other, and then the parts manager finally threatened our lives because we were driving him so crazy. So sorry, Dave Gilroy, about that. But man, just again, timeless show. I didn't imagine at the time that I'd still be watching the show on a consistent basis, and it sure is very available. That's for sure.
So Charlie, you can hold my reservation, and can you keep my reservation? That is the Planes, Trains, and Automobiles with the lady from Ferris Bueller going, well, you're fucked. There is a world of people out there that test you with these small sayings to see if you are a Seinfeld fan or not. And when you go back and you start watching them, you've got the normal ones like we're going to talk about here eventually, but there's ones that are so obscure that if you nail that, all of a sudden you become lifelong friends like Bosco, you know?
Oh yeah.
Stuff like that.
Bosco.
Yeah, stuff like that is just beautiful. I've got war. What is it good for? Ass man, you know, those kind of things. When my wife sneezes, I go, "You're so good looking."
Oh,
you know, I woke up in the East River in a sack. I mean, obviously there's New York versions of this that are people going to just go ballistic, but double dipping the chip. Don't
be a double dipper. Don't be a double dipper. So if I had to narrow down my top 5 isms, so Seinfeld isms. So not necessarily shows.
Oh, look at you with your fancy
terminology that I've used, and again, probably overquoted throughout the years. But sponge-worthy. Again, we talked about that earlier. And
Thank
I
you.
would probably that's and obviously the context was the living sponges were going off the market. So Elaine, hoarded cases and cases of them. So that was her.
And the bathroom in your apartment?
Cleaned it this morning.
The sink, the tub, everything got cleaned?
Everything, yeah. It's spotless.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Yada, yada, yada. I mean, that's one that's in the universal vernacular, but is applicable in so many ways.
Oh.
Or a couple of the quotes from that. She mentions, well, my ex came over last night and yada, yada, yada. I'm really tired today. So then he finally said, well, I get rid of what actually happened. Well, I came out of the shower. I was dripping wet. I was like, I don't know, pivot to something else.
Marcy comes over and she tells me that her ex-boyfriend was over late last night and yada, yada, yada. I'm really tired today. You don't think she'd yada, yada sex?
I've yada-yada'd sex.
Really?
Yeah.
I met this lawyer. We went out to dinner. I had the lobster bisque. We went back to my place. Yada, yada, yada. I never heard from him again.
But you yada yada over the best part.
No, I mentioned the bisque.
Okay, well, instead of yada, 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 I shoplifted a purse, and then I went out, got the massage and the facial, and then I skipped out on the bill.
Oh my gosh, so many.
And then at the end, her yada yada was now she got picked up, and we'll see her in 6 to 8 months. So not that there's anything wrong with that. You know, that's always a good preface if you're talking about something uncomfortable. Again, that's always the disqualifier if you said something offensive or something.
Oh, is that a problem?
No, I just hate my voice on tape. It always sounds so high and whiny. Jerry, did you wash this pair? Yeah, I washed it. It looks like it hasn't been washed.
So wash it.
You hear the way he talks to me? Let me ask you something. What do you think of this shirt?
It's nice.
Jerry said he didn't like it.
And do your parents know?
No what?
My parents? They don't know what's going on.
We're not gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, of course not.
These pretzels are making me thirsty. That was the Woody Allen episode. That was the part when they were parking the cars, and that was the one line I think that Kramer had.
Kramer's,
then,
yeah.
Then everybody
He's trying to nail it. It's like,
And I go, boy, these pretzels are making me thirsty.
Is that how you're gonna say it?
No, I'm working on it.
Do it like this. These pretzels are making me thirsty.
Oh, these pretzels are making me thirsty. No, see, that's no good. See, you don't know how to act.
These pretzels are making me thirsty.
And then the jerk store. There
you go. There it is.
So I picked this up a couple years ago, the Jerk Store. It's a modern version of the Jerk Store because you have an iPhone, obviously, as you see there. But the premise of that show, though, and it's what we've all run into. You know, somebody zings you with something like that, and you know you don't come back with the right comeback, and then like 30 minutes later it comes to you. God damn it! I should have said that at that time.
Let's see how many I can fit in my mouth.
You know, George, the ocean called. They're running out of shrimp.
Oh, yeah, Riley? Well, the Jerk Store called. They're running out of you.
What's the difference? You're their all-time bestseller.
Yeah? Well, I had sex with your wife.
His wife is in a coma.
So I would say, as far as the isms into the lexicon, that would have to be my top 5. Although there's 100 more that could have made the list.
you remember the TV guide. There's like people from a generation going, what? TV guide? What are you talking about?
George's father collected them. If you remember
Yes.
when he was on vacation, when George got busted having sex on their bed, Elaine had picked up that TV guide and gave it to the creepy guy on the subway, and then he made a TV guide bouquet out of it.
That's so true. Oh my gosh.
And then spilled the gyro juice on the TV guide, and then again, George's dad went ballistic over all of that.
Like you said, you mentioned how George evolved from the start. I think Kramer evolved as well. He became so good at entering Jerry's apartment.
Well,
it became a
read
thing. It became a thing.
Well, I read in the deep dive that they had debated on sort of revealing how he made money because he never worked. I mean, obviously he had his coffee table book about coffee tables. So I'm sure he brought in a couple dollars on that. But again, it was just kind of an intrigue about how he sustained his living in New York. I mean, anybody who's lived in New York knows how expensive apartments are. So not exactly the easiest thing to pull off on no salary.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, but that was the thing, right? We were all going, how the hell is he making money? And, and I think they might have revealed that maybe he grabbed some money from his mom and so on and so forth. And there was all kinds of stuff. All right. So beyond that, let's go. What do you got? What do you got in your top list, man?
My top 5 episodes. So again, tough to come up with this, but this is what I kind of narrowed it down to. So the Soup Nazi. A lot of interesting things about that. It was based off of a real soup stand that was in New York, which it basically the guy. He kind of was happy he was featured initially, and then all of a sudden he became sort of a pariah after that. I mean, he said it after the episode had aired that it kind of ruined his life, really, as far as the attention that was
really
brought to him. Yep. And so I'm a soup lover, and if it really came down to me, if I had to come in there and give him my order, move to the left, don't ask for bread or you're going to be in a lot of trouble, I'd be totally on board with that.
Yeah, you remember, I mean, when Jerry was like tasting, going, oh my gosh.
Yes.
This is so good. But yeah, that's exactly what. And I cracked up because Elaine was like, no, it ain't happening. She fought against that.
A couple of the other things that were funny in that one. So that was the Schmoopy episode. Remember, he was dating that one chick, and the whole public display of affection type thing, and calling each other names. Have you ever dated anybody like that?
Yes.
Have you really?
Yes.
And ultimately, the Soup Nazi was the cause of, the precursor of their breakup. She didn't order correctly, and Jerry's like, crab bisque. After she gets kicked out. But the armoire was funny too. That when Elaine saw the armoire on the street, and then
the two like radical gay guys,
the street toughs.
Yeah, the
street toughs came and stole it from Kramer. Oh my god! And then to wrap up the episode, though, when ultimately Kramer goes to the Soup Nazi, he gets an armoire from him, and then that's got all of his soup recipes in it. So Elaine has to extract her revenge on the Soup Nazi and tells him she has all the recipes.
It's like, guess what? I've got you.
I got you. No soup for you.
No soup for you. Next. That's love it. Oh my god.
Yeah, can't beat that one. The yada yada, we did talk about that one a little bit. I mean, the one part that I forgot about in that episode was the Tim Whatley, who was
yes.
So he was the dentist in the episode or in the show, and he converts to Judaism. So
that's right. You can't just make Jew jokes.
Right, you've been a Jew for 2 days. You can't make Jew jokes like that.
And Walt White.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead. All right, go ahead.
And I forget. It's funny. I forgot his name when I was watching. I was like, who? I can't remember him. I know he's in Breaking Bad, but
yeah.
So ultimately, Jerry goes and does a confession to his priest and tells him that, hey, I think he converted to Judaism for the jokes. And he tells him the joke, what's the difference between a dentist and a sadist? And he said, newer magazines. So then the priest tells Tim Whatley about that. And then Jerry is now an anti-dentite.
Dentite, yeah.
And at the end of the episode, when they're at that wedding, the dentist in front of him, I think that was Robert Wagner, if I remember correctly. So he turns around and says, "You anti-dentite bastard! If we weren't in a church, I would knock all of your teeth down your throat." I mean, it's just
oh my gosh.
And then Kramer and Mickey were fighting over the two girls. Remember, they forgot their names, and then the one girl, both of her parents were little people. So then it's just too much going on in that episode. That's for sure.
It's cool. And there was a bunch of people who I don't know if it was if Seinfeld was a launching point, or because you could tell from season 1, 2, 3, 4, people started going, okay, this is a legit thing. It's definitely catching traction. I want to be part of it. I mean, even the New York Yankees were like, okay, we need to be part of this because it's sticking around. It's going to be something. And a lot of people jumped on that bandwagon, that train, if you will.
Yeah.
And yeah, so same thing with Bryan Cranston. He was a recurring character that it helped his career. He moved on to amazing things, obviously.
Malcolm in the Middle, I think he was a main character on that one. I think right after Seinfeld was on.
But yeah, you wake up from a dentist thing. You're like, why is my pants undone?
Right, everybody's buttoning their. Oh my god, that's ridiculous.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
The parking garage.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, one of the most simplest sets as far, you're basically Kramer they went out to the mall. Kramer got an AC unit. Elaine bought a couple goldfish, and then they can't find their car.
Which has happened to all of us.
It has happened to all of us, but eventually Elaine convinces, it was a Scientologist, so convince a Scientologist to drive them around the parking garage to try to find the car. But I wanted to ask you that. Have you ever lost your car in a parking garage and got somebody to drive you around? Because I did it a bunch of times when I was younger.
No, I will never ask somebody to drive me around. I will take the time to go to every damn level, and then upon coming out of either the stairs, because at certain ages you just take the stairs, or as you get older you take the elevator, and then you come out and you go, this doesn't look right.
Right, the color doesn't match up.
Or you know what? Hold on a second. Yes, we're up here, and yeah.
I mean, obviously today we just take a picture of the spot that we're in and we're good to go. But I was a bold youth in my 80s. I hitched a few rides around parking garages. But some of the other things from the episode to remember: Jerry and George got busted for pissing on the wall. Again,
I've done that.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta go. You gotta go.
Men can do that.
Right. But the one thing that I don't know why it made me laugh so hard, but when I saw when the mom was kind of dragging her kid to the car, so he was being a little bit roughed up by his mother and everything, and he was George is like, hey, wait a second, do you think you should be roughing that kid up that much? And it's funny, I've often thought about that over the years in terms of when does somebody say something? And then the kid was sort of defending the mother, basically saying, "Hey, you're ugly. No, you're ugly." Going back and forth with that. Hey, there you
are. Sorry, I had to go piss on level 34, the goofy section.
You gotta go. But while you were taking a piss, I was just talking about just the kid that was getting a little roughed up by mom, and then hey, do you think you should be so rough with that kid? Hey, why don't you mind your own
business?
Right. Oh my god. So and then the fish was dying throughout the episode too, which was kind of funny. It was, their eyes look a little cloudy. Only that's my eyes.
I want to hear about the contest.
Oh my God. So the contest. So again, most people should know this one, but essentially it was betting, who would basically wank it the last, who could be master of their own domain and not, pleasure themselves. And, it was interesting. It was sort of spawned from George's mom had walked in on him wanking it to a glamour magazine.
Yeah.
So, uncomfortable there. His mom actually fell over and ended up in the hospital in traction. So, it didn't work out so good for her.
Yeah, but it worked out good for George because he saw a sponge bath.
Sponge bath definitely pushed him in the wrong direction. So,
oh my gosh, look at that silhouette.
So if you remember though, the guys put up $100 and then Elaine's participating. So they made her give odds. So she had to put 150 into the kitty, thinking that, a female maybe has a better chance of getting to the finish line there. But also, Jerry was dating Marla the Virgin at the time. And Kramer cracked first.
Yes, he did.
Remember,
within like 24 hours.
Oh yeah, it didn't take long. He
Oh.
saw the girl across the way who was naked.
Yep. I'm done.
So
I'm out.
he immediately walks across. He's out, and at the end of the episode, he ends up in bed with her, which that's kind of a nice wrap up for him. So then Elaine was chasing JFK Jr. at her exercise club, so she got
Yeah.
to interact with him. She heard that he had asked about her, so that's all she needed. So then she cracked next.
She was
But
done.
you know what's interesting though is they really left the ending kind of ambiguous. You know, you never really knew if it was George who was the last one to crack or Jerry. But in the finale, George admitted that he had cheated. So technically, Jerry did win the contest, although it wasn't noted in the original episode. Because I was thinking about that. I'm like, wait
Really?
a second. Who went first? Because you remember they were all sleeping soundly at the end, and then they show Kramer sleeping with the chick across the way. But yeah, so and that was intentionally done. So in the finale, George said, "Yeah, I cheated. You won the contest." So just kind of a little known fact that I never knew the answer. But you know, I think the one that I landed on, and again, I don't know that this is ranked in any particular order for these
it's not.
five.
No.
But the Merv Griffin episode, I swear to God, I watched that 3 times. It's so the premise, they're walking in an alley, they see something crazy in the dumpster. Kramer does. Come to find out, it's the old Merv Griffin set. So he reassembles the Merv Griffin set in his apartment, and then pretty much.
How big is his apartment?
Oh God, it's a
he's got a hot tub. He's got parties in there.
Jerry asked him, "Where are you going to sleep?" "Oh, backstage." Not a problem. But so he sets that up, and he has sort of this perpetual talk show that's going on. It's just so absurd, the fact that he's like he's talking to an audience, the whole time, and they're like, "Who are you talking to?" And he's like, "Wait, we got to go to break real quick." So and then as they evolve that though, well, let's not skip too far ahead. So Jerry dates the girl with the action figure collection that she inherited from her father, but she won't let him play with it.
Yeah.
So then she's got a headache the one night, and he goes into the bathroom and gets her the Excedrin PM. So may cause drowsiness. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he gives her that. She passes out.
Someone mentioned to me you were not very happy with your toys growing up.
Yeah, that was me.
That's right. And you mentioned that you didn't get a G.I. Joe. You had...
An Army piece.
Right.
Jerry! Those hands, they never stop.
Mission accomplished. Back to base, Joe. She's even got that old Mattel football game that we love.
Oh, come on. You gotta get me over there.
Wait a minute. You mean to say that you drugged a woman so you could take advantage of her toys?
Wine and turkey?
So when I saw George on the street with an 18-pound turkey and a giant box of wine, I thought, what a coincidence. We're just about to eat.
What is that stuff in turkey that makes you sleepy?
Tryptophan. More heavy gravy.
Yes! Touchdown! Your turn, Jerry. Last night, I found a whole Weeble village right behind the Easy Bake Oven.
Easy Bake Oven? Who wants cupcake?
Oh, me.
If you remember the Seidler. So the guy that sneaks up on Elaine at work, and then she gives him the Tic Tac so that way they can keep track of him. And then the boss is pissed off. He's like, "It sounds like the death rattle of Haiti or something like that."
You're...
Want my breath?
Ugh.
What can I do?
Well, you should never, ever go anywhere without these.
Thanks, Elaine. You're such a super lady.
Oh my gosh.
And then the pigeons. So George is driving with his girlfriend. sees the pigeons in the road and they don't fly out of the way, so he runs them over, and then she's pissed off, and then he stomps through some more pigeons at the park.
Yeah.
But then he runs over a squirrel accidentally, so they end up at the vet. Well, Mr. Costanza, the only way we're going to be able to save the squirrel is we have to import in some very tiny instruments. So, like, what would it take to put him to sleep? Well, we charge by the pound, so it'd be about 80 cents. Well, and she's like, we better do whatever we can do.
I did have the contest out there, which is from season 4, episode 11, Soup Nazi, season 7, episode 6. The Marine Biologist.
That's up there too.
Season 5, episode 14. The whole, the sea was angry that day, my friends.
Yes, it was. Yes, it's
Yeah.
a titleist.
And the amazing thing where this is true George, where he using his Broadway acting. He played it all out and he pulled it out and he rose it up and Kramer goes, "Oh, is that a titleist?" I mean, it's beautiful.
Yes, it is.
The opposite episode. I mean, this is what's great about Seinfeld. They're very short title or episode names.
Yep.
That you kind of just throw them out there and people go, "Oh my gosh, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about." So the opposite, season 5, episode 22. That's when they all started acting differently, right?
Yep.
George's like, you know what? This is not working for me. I'm going to do things completely opposite. When somebody says something and I normally say this, I'm going to do it complete. And it
all balances out for me. It always balances out. Something good happens, something bad happens. So,
it was so good. It was so freaking smart writing. The Puffy Shirt, season 5, episode 2. I don't want to be a pirate. I don't want to be a cowboy. All those things. The Outing, season 4, episode 17, 89 to 98.
Yep.
This is still happening in people's lives today. So there you go.
And then they tried to sell the pilot of their show, which in around season 4, if you remember.
You remember when you asked him? Remember a couple of weeks ago?
So the actual premise of the show that they sold to NBC and George negotiating him down, and ultimately ends up marrying Susan, and they're almost marrying Susan. Then she dies because of the cheap wedding invitation envelope. So.
the envelope stop licking. They did have music. It was, and I'll throw this out here. They had downtown. There was an episode that was all about one guy loved the song Desperado, and and Elaine matched him with Witchy Woman.
Yeah.
There was The Morning Train by I think Sheena Easton, if I'm not mistaken. So there was songs that resonated within the show, not so much as a focal point, but certainly helped tell the story. Yeah, it was really neat. What is that? He's a Technicolor or something?
The Technicolor Dreamcoat. He had a friend who was working on the play on Broadway, and he borrowed the coat to take it out for a little bit of a walk.
That's great. He's jamming, man. He's rolling.
Yeah, he's feeling it like he's got almost a tune in his head, like he's got some sort of playlist in his head that is driving his swagger up the New York streets.
Okay, maybe we should play some music for him then. Folks, 2026, brand new year. And guess what? Charlie is rolling out first.
We're coming out strong. We're coming out. And the one theme that you have to think about, so it's a new year. So We want everything, we want it new and we want it better. So that was our challenge that we gave ourselves this week. Not only were it either had to be a song with new or better, or it also had to be a fresh artist that we haven't featured in a previous show. So we had kind of a little needle to thread here, but I think we've done a pretty good job at compiling some tremendous songs. So
yeah, we didn't want to focus on the dead part of Better Off Dead because we've covered sort of the morbid dead, if you will. So.
And I had 5 songs ready. And just to throw one out there, just for the 80s people out there, Dead, Jailed, or Rock and Roll by Michael Monroe, who used to be the singer of Hanoi Rocks. It's kind of like a random song you used to see pop up on Headbangers Ball back in the day. But before we get into this, if you want a Dead song, that's a pretty good one to go after. Dead, Jailed, or Rock and Roll by Michael Monroe. So anyway, we'll keep the honorable mention list to a minimum.
All right, so so let's do this, Charlie, too. Let's jump into a new way of doing this, right? Let's preview, and then we'll talk about Tesla here, right? Is that cool?
All right, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Everybody, grab your lighters.
You gotta do it. So Tesla from the Bay Area, they became prominent sort of in the hair metal era, but they really weren't that. They didn't follow that. I guess the cookie cutter version of high hair and long hair and stuff like that. They're sort of like a blue collarish type band, but they absolutely jammed. This was off their first album. Mechanical Resonance, later went on to Edison's Medicine. They always had sort of that electrical theme to their albums, but really
from Sacramento.
From Sacramento, exactly, right, right down the road.
Yeah,
I had the pleasure to see these guys a ton of times live in the late 80s. Just threw it down live, and the amazing thing, just 5-man acoustical jam.
Beautiful voices.
Yeah, they did Signs. They did that cover song, Signs everywhere, there's signs. So that was on that acoustical album, and that was interesting because that sort of led into MTV Unplugged and things like that. So it's sort of, it showed, it didn't have to be a complete, jam and electrical song. It could be something very basic, but very talented group of musicians. They're still a touring entity to this day. They still come through. I've seen them in Vegas within the last 5 years, so certainly a great band. But yeah, Gettin' Better was one of the hits off of that first album, and it does pick up in tempo a little bit.
Well, let's see. Let's hear what they have to offer.
Let's rock it out.
Their fourth studio album was Bust a Nut.
Yes, it was.
Come on, you gotta love that when they throw that stuff in. I love it.
Yeah, great stuff. Great stuff.
Right.
So, next one up here. This is a cover song by Guns N' Roses. They had sort of a maligned album that came out in '93 called "The Spaghetti Incident." Basically, it was a album full of covers for punk bands, older bands that there were influences on them at the time. The song that I selected, New Rose, was by The Damned. So I think that starts out pretty quickly, though.
All right. Yeah, let's check it out. New Rose.
New Rose.
Is she really going out with you?
It's a jammer.
Okay, so this is from the band The Damned, right? So they covered it, and yeah, that's interesting. I'm always interested in what resonates with certain bands to make them go, hey, look, we like this so much, we're gonna cover it. You know, either it's a sound, the beat, something, or maybe that they want to do an ode to that band because they didn't get enough during their heyday. You know,
my theory is that every band starts out as a cover band. You know, when you first get guys together, for the most part, I mean, you're not gonna play originals because you don't have any. So you kind of pick sort of, okay, what do you like, Duff, or what do you like, Slash? Oh yeah, I'm really into the song by The Damned. Let's try to rock that out and make that sound, you know, sort of our own. I mean, there's a lot of examples. I think back to Metallica when Cliff Burton died in the bus accident. You know, they brought Jason Newsted in from Flotsam and Jetsam, and they did, instead of doing a immediate studio album, they did a 5-song EP. And it was all cover songs of like old punk stuff that they all liked. You know, it was sort of a way to kind of get the band started off. I think in this case, this was GNR was to the point they had done Appetite, they had done the Use Your Illusion albums and everything. And I think they just didn't have. I think the majority of them were so deep into heroin at that time that they probably were like, I can't think of any new lyrics, so let's finally do that cover album that we talked about for so many years.
Yeah, I mean, even when you looked at The Damned, you know, they're an English punk band. I mean, it was released in '76. Good Lord, covering the Leader of the Pack. I mean, that was like shoebop songs back in the 50s. Good Lord. I mean, well, this was in '64, but I mean, they even covered the B-sides, a cover of the Beatles hit "Help."
Yes.
So,
and everybody rips everybody else off, whether it's guitar riffs, lyrics, things like that. So again, Spaghetti Incident they took a lot of shit for that album, but it's not bad. Again, it's not like you have to commit to buying the album. Look for it on your streamer, and I'll bet you find a couple songs on there that you're. Even they had a Charles Manson song at the very end of that album as well, something from his library. So good stuff.
Let's at least throw in a little bit more from that. Yeah, I like that. I like the drum beat of that. It's really cool.
Oh yeah, it's a jammer. And I would like to point out that Duff on the left does have a Slayer shirt on, by the way. So just random thing I just noticed while we were is a Slatanic Wehrmacht shirt.
Oh, is he? Okay. And I'm assuming Axel's wearing "Shit Happens" or something.
Yeah, and Slash has a shirt that says Slash. You talk about the ultimate narcissism. Okay, I've got a shirt with my picture on it.
This is me.
So next one up, and I've been waiting to feature these guys forever. Clutch.
Yeah.
So these are a local Maryland band.
All right. Okay.
My
Something
ties with this
following
band go very deep. I will say that Jean Paul, the drummer since the beginning, actually gave drum lessons to a friend of mine, James Reed from Chesapeake High School. He actually was taking drum lessons from Jean Paul. We actually ran into Jean Paul at a club back in the early 90s, a rock club. Hey, there's Jean Paul from Clutch. You know, pretty kind of crazy shit as far as that. But they really have evolved sort of a unique sound. I will say that the lead singer has a very polarizing voice. They're kind of a jamming rock band, but they have, you know, sort of a blues sensibility to them. So it's kind of a slow starting song. Big News 1.
From where?
These are guys are all from Maryland.
Really? Interesting.
Hey, oh my God.
I'm looking up and I'm not seeing much. So interesting that that you're bringing this up. I love it. I love it.
So their sort of claim to fame, I guess, in the mainstream was a song that came out many years later called "Electric Worry," which is again, I'm not going to sing it a cappella for everybody, but look it up.
Come on.
Well, maybe so.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
But yeah, I mean, they were just amazing live. I mean, again, the nod to Pasadena real quick. Daytona's, which was Network, which was a bunch of other clubs, which was a great rock club, though. I saw Clutch there before this album ever came out, and I remember all the stage divers were, you know, getting carried around, knocking speakers all left and right and stuff like that, because they do have some heavier songs than this one here. But I would encourage you, if you are, you know, a fan of kind of original rock sound, look up the Clutch catalog. There's so many good albums that they put out. But yeah, definitely check Clutch out.
Charlie said it all. Here we go.
We shall be on the way, on the by and by. Ahead, one third! Ahead, two thirds! Full of head flake and out from the belly of a whale, give a proper amen! Go shoot the moon, the sun, the great divide. I believe there's a storm a brewing. 9 crows at 9 o'clock now. Dutchman of the business. 6 hobbies all singing to the lead. I believe she's going down.
What are they doing these days? Anything?
They're still touring. They're still making music.
All right.
We saw them in Vegas 4 years ago. They double billed with Primus. So now for your present state, California, we have Sublime. Sublime came around in the early 90s. You know, I was blessed enough to know these guys right when they first came out. Somebody gave me a cassette of theirs back in the old days. I'm like, damn, these guys are pretty amazing. So the song that I selected, New Song, is off of the 40 Ounces to Freedom record.
Yeah, let's check it out. Let's check it out.
I heard Payback's a motherfucking bitch, but I won't stress and I won't switch, and I would not take my life. Glory, please, I God. The only thing on my mind, it takes up all of my time. And I said,
let me stop you right there. That brief 10-second thing is exactly why I hit the little button that says "not made for children." All right, let's move on. Let's check it out.
running from a gun or some brain that weighs a ton. My God, it hurts to get so. Searching through the car, coastal searching through the night. I think I was to you, but I refuse to listen to fight. And God may find a reason.
Tell us more about Sublime.
So Sublime, Bradley Noel was the lead singer, guitar player that kind of, fronted this band for all that time. But, they were punk, they were reggae, they sort of straddled a few different mediums as far as, the type of music that they put out there.
Yeah.
And really the unfortunate part about them is they were gaining popularity. I saw them in '94 on a festival bill, and was just like, holy shit, these guys are completely legitimate live. But then Bradley died of a heroin overdose, unfortunately. So he died in, I think if I remember right, it was '96. And then they had an album that came out, the self-titled album came out after that. And that was, a huge hit. I mean, you have to say, was it because posthumously, did it? So, but what was interesting though is, I have a lot of the, they sort of had some demos and some, B-side type things. I collected a lot of that stuff in the '90s.
Yeah.
So then they came back later though, Sublime with Rome.
Yeah.
So they had the same band lineup, just with somebody different that kind of took Bradley's place. And I've heard, again, I can't confirm this, but I've heard that his son fronted the band, I think, on the recent tour or something like that.
Okay.
Heard some mixed reviews, like forgetting lyrics and shit like that. So hopefully he's not on the same track
trajectory as his father.
But you think back to one of the albums, he did a duet with Gwen Stefani. I Saw Red, which was on, wasn't on this album. I believe it was on the self-titled album. But again, great song. I mean, he had lots of connections with people, in the California scene and things like that. But but I can't ever sit in a California bar that has a jukebox and not at least put a couple Sublime songs in. That's for sure.
All right.
So what's the rest? What's a couple more bars of this? It's gonna be mellow, I promise.
We're talking 92, but I mean, we've talked about this in other earlier episodes of rock bands, heavy metal bands, so on and so forth. There's certain band members you're like, damn it, you guys had so much potential, so much talent. You could have done insane stuff, but you couldn't say no to the devil.
Sometimes it's that struggling artist thing where you're trying to scratch that itch, I mean, again, I'm not, but it's a shame how much, again, there's been tons of talent wasted over the years, but I guess at the silver lining, again, obviously, him passing wasn't a good thing, but at least they kept the legacy of the band still alive, even to this day. They still tour and keep the songs alive. So that's the best you can really do at this point.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the Caribbean, you're like, can you play a Sublime song?
Exactly. Or Ocean Beach in San Diego. Again, that just says it for me, right into the jukebox. But on a lighter note, again, not to take it down to the morbid track, the last song. So this was a band that I never figured I could get into our show because they're sort of a punk band that was actually these were brought to my attention by a friend of mine called named Brian Beta, who I used to hang out with back in Maryland. He was a musician and also kind of liked a lot of different punk bands. So he brought this band to me, Newbomb Turks, way back when we were in the early 90s. And their backstory, Ohio State, all graduates of Ohio State were big punk fans, but they really wanted to kind of blaze their own trail. So there was an album before this one called Destroy Oh Boy, but this was the second album. Unfortunately, there were none of those available on Spotify, so I did have to select something from the second album. But Newbomb Turks. So let's hear a little bit of the band. I'll give you a little more of the back.
So you're bringing some interesting stuff for 2026, bro. I appreciate it.
I've been listening to these guys for the last 3 days. Yeah. So this is off of the Scared Straight album, which was their second album that they had. But yeah, this one's great front to back. Actually, I've listened to this like 4 times in the last couple days, and just an amazing album by these guys. And they still continue to make music here and there. I don't know that they've toured in a while, but this is what they look like. You know, some pretty straight edge dudes from Ohio. I mean, you know, not. And it's funny. My friend Brian, who turned me on to these guys, I told him we were going to feature them tonight. He goes, "Yeah, you know, just some dudes from Ohio talking about drag strips and things like that." So, you know, definitely. But yeah, these guys, again, they have a pretty good catalog of music. And again, if you're into that, you know, the punk evolution type thing, definitely a good band to check out. They got another 5 or 6 albums after this one here. Hammerless Nail, that's the lead off on this album, but you can't find a bad song on Scared Straight. So would certainly highly recommend the Newbomb Turks. And before I step aside, Hollywood Nights, an old movie from 1980. That was a movie that had Tony Danza, a handful of other people. There was a character named Newbomb Turk. He was the one who he took his wanker out and was playing the violin with his wanker during the movie. So I'm not sure if that was the inspiration specifically for the movie, but that's where Newbomb Turks actually came from. So look it up.
Yeah, it's Newbomb Turks. Have some of the best driving music.
Oh my god, yeah. This is not
even Shannon. Yeah, even Shannon said that. Said, "Oh my god, I can listen to your music driving through the Texas Panhandle."
Absolutely.
All right.
So let's see what you got in store for us tonight.
Okay, and welcome. We're switching things around a bit. Obviously, Charlie went first.
Shifting the clutch a little bit.
Shifting the clutch. But yeah, Charlie went first. Awesome. And is nobody paying attention now? everybody dropped off.
Where are you going? No,
come on. Paul's got some cool stuff. No?
Right.
All right. Well, if you're a pop lover, you've hung around and
you've come to the right place.
Exactly. New Moon on Monday. Duran. I didn't have space, like you said, Charlie. We don't have
Shorter characters.
Shorter characters. Duran. They formed. Oh, let's listen to some Duran. Here we go.
A little bit.
Shake up the picture, there's a mixture with the dance on the eventide. You got me coming with answers all of which I deny. I said it again, but could I please rephrase it? Maybe I can catch your eye.
There's a lot of songs that have like a weird, strange start before the chorus, or what we would consider the what people would go, oh my gosh, yes, I know that song type of approach. That is one of the songs I'm talking about, is the New Moon on Monday. It starts out so strange.
Yeah.
It's weird, because then all of a sudden you hear the chorus and you go, oh, I remember that song. Maybe it's not one of their biggest hits, honestly. Duran is massively okay. Well, let me get into that. Formed out of Birmingham, which I believe has a connection with Ozzy Osbourne.
It does.
They were formed in 1978. They were just the MTV gods.
They were. Friday Night Video gods too.
Yeah, exactly. They won every effing contest for I don't know how long. It was ridiculous. Duran is from Dr. Durand from Barbarella, the movie from 1968.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was a big Duran fan growing up. I would say Duran and Men at Work were my gateway drugs to other music. You know, that was the first ones that I actually bought cassettes of, and it's like, this is pretty good shit.
Oh, look at you.
But I was like 11.
All right, my personal preference is Wild Boys is one of the greatest Duran songs of all time. Just real quick, Duran broke off eventually into a couple different things, like for instance Power Station in Arcadia. Yep. And the band said that their video for New Moon on Monday was one of the most horrible videos of all time. So here we go. I think Shannon's gonna absolutely love the fact that I featuring these guys. My brother too. What did we say? We said new,
right?
And so I said nucleus.
That's better than New Kids on the Block.
Thank God. I would never feature them. All right, so Ottoman Nucleus from 84. Yes, there was a okay. Well, let's listen to it right here.
They met one day in a summer storm. Her senses told her that it was wrong. She was a young lady of 23.
They were formed in Brooklyn area in '77. Obviously, Jam on It, Jam on Revenge are one of their two major hits that you might know, audience. Oh, I mean, the wiki songs, yes. Just beautifully made to where you can do remixes. They were a band that I think would be amazing today. Their stuff is so space age, computer focused, it makes sense because they're talking about, are these computers going to take over humanity? And this is what's going on with the AI. For instance, like our art department, which luckily is not AI driven, but they were cousins, they were friends, and they did a lot of a corner street like hip hop stuff. Like, oh, we're gonna just go in, we're gonna just set up shop, and we're gonna play it, and people are gonna just hang out and rock out or
dance on cardboard.
Thank you very much. which by the way, I did not do. Thank you, Charlie.
No.
But the cousins and the friends married, not the cousins married, but the friends married that were part of the cousins kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. But the wiki part was somebody saying, "Hey, you guys don't do the scratching. Oh, you think that wiki is what we're supposed to do?" So they thought it was fun to play that into their song, saying, "Oh, wiki," and that's what they thought is scratching on a record scratch. All right. The illustration on the remixes was by Bill Ray, who did Ren and Stimpy.
Get the hell out of here.
Yes, exactly. I thought I was like, hell yeah, this is what I'm talking about. And the reason why I picked Automan, obviously because there's the Jam on it and Jam on Revenge was so huge, but Automan was really cool. If you look up the band Snap in the 90s, rhythm is a dancer. It's that is they actually plucked Automan from that. So here we go. Here's more Automan. Cool.
Skating rink music right there.
Oh my God. How about Huey Lewis and the News?
We'll take that.
Hey, thank you, Charlie. Appreciate that. All right, let's listen to Jacob's Ladder a little bit.
His head. Now he's trying to save me, but I'm doing all right.
Huey Lewis and the News. First of all, Huey Lewis was he played around a bunch of places, and he tried to get within a few bands, including like Tin Lizzy and a couple other places that we know quite well. I mean, he had a phenomenal voice. I mean, the guy was just destined for greatness. Anyway, they formed in 1979 out of San Francisco. And as we mentioned many times before, Charlie, MTV loved them.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And they were massive on the soundtrack stage, right?
They were on a ton of things. Back to the Future, obviously, would be the main one.
Yes. Back to the Future.
Time.
Yeah, Back in Time. I didn't write this down, but I will tell you. I will tell you in the audience, if you want to look up. I did this with my wife Amber. I said, "Hey, let me play you. I Want a New Drug." And I want to play it side by side with Ghostbusters, which was a national, if not global, #1 hit. Huey Lewis sued Ray Parker Jr. for the song Ghostbusters because it sounds very similar to I Want a New Drug. And Ray Parker Jr., after a while, sued Huey Lewis on the News because Huey Lewis eventually said, hey, this song freaking sounds like our stuff. Because the record company went, yeah, we kind of did borrow some of their beats, their lyrics. Exactly, riffs.
Did you know what Huey Lewis dealt with towards the end of his career, though?
His voice.
It was an inner ear thing. He had what they call Meniere's disease, or maybe I'm not pronouncing it right, but it was actually like a deterioration in his inner ear. So he was getting all these weird ear ringing and tinnitus and stuff like that on stage. And he ultimately had to retire from the band altogether because they were still touring as recently as 2018, but then he had to stop altogether. So that was kind of a crazy thing. But I love their early shit. Oh my God. First 3 or 4 albums, give me sports all day long. I mean, that was great stuff.
They were a phenomenal band. I mean, they had a full on complement of amazing artists that brought so many different instruments to the show. They had, with Huey's doo-wop soul voice. Yeah. And then it was just gorgeous. Yeah.
It's big news.
It is big news. So their biggest their entry into stardom was Do You Believe in Love? If you remember that, which was produced by Mutt Lange.
No, I thought you were gonna say Billy Squire.
No, I know I wanted to, but no. Mutt Lange, who we've featured on the show before. Yep. I will tell you this: they recorded their 25th anniversary concert. It's been a while since they did that, but they recorded it at the Sierra Nevada Brewing Company in Chico, California. On the Jacob's Ladder situation, Bruce Hornsby wrote that for them. I love Jacob's Ladder. I mean, I could have picked any other song that everybody's well aware of, but Jacob's Ladder, check this out. This is pretty good. I mean, obviously, we know the power of love and all those things. They have amazing songs.
I remember that tune. I had all those cassettes, so yeah. I know exactly. Yeah. That's a great one. Good pick on that. You could definitely have went mainstreamy, but yeah, that was a good choice.
So, giving back some love to Better Off Dead, I picked E.J. Daly, who was in the movie, by the way, who sang One Way Love. Let me show you let me show you that real quick. What am I going to get from her? She more than likely she's done. After that, she's not going to offer me anything. I've never heard of her. I've never heard of E.J. Daly after that. I completely thought that she was going to be we played this and that was it. No. Check this out. So E.J. Daly, also known as Elizabeth Ann Gutman. She is the voice from Rugrats.
Really?
Yes. Nice. It doesn't stop there. She does Buttercup from Powerpuff Girls.
Wow. She's versatile.
She does Bam Bam Rubble from Flintstones.
Not the early one though.
Probably not. But she does Dottie from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Do you remember when
You remember when you asked him?
Wait, I want to talk to you first.
You are talking to me.
No, I want your undivided attention. Look, Pee-wee, this is important. There's someone I want to ask you.
Mm-hmm. Look, Daddy, I like you.
I like you. That's the thing. I like you too.
Daddy! There's a lot of things about me you don't know anything about, Daddy. Things you wouldn't understand. Things you couldn't understand. Things you shouldn't understand.
I don't understand.
You don't want to get mixed up with a guy like me. I'm a loner, Daddy. A rebel.
she was in Valley Girl with Nicolas Cage?
Nick Cage and Fast Times at Ridgemont High, again, connection to the show.
Thank you very much. She has been in a bunch of Rob Zombie videos, which I'm sure you like absolutely love. Yeah, she's badass. Yeah. All right, check this out. I think we have a new Kenny Loggins king of soundtrack.
Oh, that's a pretty big statement to make, Paul.
So let me throw this at you, everybody. Ready? Here we go. EJ Daly. She did Breakfast Club, Summer School, Scarface, Thief of Hearts, Circuit, Streets, The Voice. She was on The Voice.
Really? Oh my gosh. Now you cross the Rubicon.
She is active as of right now, obviously, with her voice acting. I mean, Curious George. And anyway, you look up EJ Daly on playlists and on Spotify. Yeah, she's rocking it. Yeah, she's done Happy Feet too. Anyway, exactly what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying, Charlie. Sure. Amazing job, EJ Daly. My last one is.
Did you want to play any of EJ's music?
Oh my God! I'm sorry. I apologize. Oh, we're gonna go until she goes. Sorry. Oh my God, I gotta go to the bathroom again. I gotta go, man. I'm like so old. I'm sorry, Charlie.
hit pause. Make sure you hit pause.
Yeah, hi. Hold on, let me try that again. Yeah, hi. So hey, all right. So my last song is also from the Better Off Dead soundtrack, which is strange too, because it's Howard Jones's Like to Get to Know You Well. Howard Jones is really an interesting dude, right? His songs are just very positive, and he just appeared out of nowhere. He apparently had enough money to get his own venue and hire record executives, and he invited them to his venue. He even had a mime, by the way, Charlie. He actually had a buddy. He's like, dude, are you mine? He's like, yeah, I'm mine. He's like, sweet. You want to be in my video? Cool. His fan club, he was run by his parents, which is hilarious. I thought it was, but I think you've mentioned this too, Charlie, in a previous episode. There was that kind of weird. Is it Thomas Dolby or is it Howard Jones?
It was just a strange time in '84, you know,
right?
The keyboardish, synthesizer-ish kind of stuff, kind of.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, here's a little bit of an introduction to I Like to Get to Know You Well by Howard Jones. Howard Jones is like, there's nothing. Here's my music. There's nothing controversial.
Well, quite a journey we've been on here on our first show of 2026. On that note, let's wrap her up.
All right. Well, that's our show about nothing. Check out our Facebook and Instagram pages. They're real and they are spectacular. All right, coming soon, we will have guests, games, and new music themes that will have you having a gay old time. Not that there's nothing wrong with that.
And we definitely truly appreciate your ongoing support of the show into the new year. Our shows in 2026 will continue our headlong journey into the 80s and 90s nostalgia. But be sure to hop on your bikes and pedal along to be a part of the fun and come get your 26 beers. Thanks for watching the show.
I thought this was a party!